Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. I have finished the grind, the 100 battle challenge on the... What is this thing? Why is the name of it not prominent? You have to dig down in the bottom. The Type-57, that's it. It was on the edge of my brain, tip of my tongue. The Type-57, which is a Japanese heavy tank tech tree tank. There's a Tier 8 Premium, I think the Type-63, sort of a similar-esque tank-ish. You can see my last battle here, a victory, a Class 2. How did we do? We did 2,300 damage, and pretty typical, actually, of my results with this particular tank. Let's actually find out with my stats if I'm lying. Maybe I am lying. Maybe it's not typical. Maybe it's a little atypical. Maybe it's above. Probably. I think it is above my DPG. But we'll take a look. Here it is. The Type-57, Tier 8, managed to one mark it in 100 battles. Pretty good crew. Commander has all 6 skills working on his, or 5 skills working on his 6. Everyone else is 5 or 4 working on their 5th. I ran hardening. I don't think I ran a secondary. I did not. Get back there. I ran hardening, a rammer, and a turbski. That's what I had. You could probably, I don't know if you wanted a more just kind of combat, you might do a vert stab on there instead of the turbo. I just like the extra little speed. It's not a particularly fast heavy tank, but fairly compact in terms of a heavy tank. Long turret, but it is rounded. There is a hatch right here, so there's a weak spot there. This kind of forehead thing is a bit of an issue as well. Interesting layout on the armor, generally usable. Pretty high angles where you can see this kind of sharp bit coming out right here, but then it's got the flat underneath. Mid-mounted turret, so for side scraping, it's okay. We'll take a look at the armor and stuff here in just a minute. That was my crew. That was my equipment. I did run large kits, and I was running food on this tank. I did the field mods, but I don't remember how many of them I actually did, if any. Looks like I chose lightweight suspension. So slowed down a little bit on terrain, but more durability with the suspension and a little more traverse speed. And then I gave myself the extra view range. This particular one on the heavies for Tier 8, I think is worth it. And there's a lot of, I think there's a couple other tanks that have it. +3 range and just a little more stun and stun duration. Who cares? You know, that extra 0.3 plus 3% view range I think is well worth it. I didn't bother with this one, the aiming gear thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff, guys. I'm going to demount that. Last free one that I had. Go ahead and send all this stuff back. Because more than likely I won't be playing this particular tank again. Back to the depot. There we go. Is this crew? It's a Type-57 crew, so it actually goes to this tank. Of course, it is a tech tree tank. If you take a look at the tech tree, standard crew layout is a similar layout for all of the Japanese heavy tanks on the kind of regular heavy tank line here. From the Juto, I guess it comes off the Mitsu 108, Junu, all the way up to the Type-71. It is not the super heavy derp gun situation, it's the other newer one. I do have some gameplay for you in just a minute we'll take a look at. How did I do with it? Not bad. I was actually running 64% pretty regularly, 64, 67 at some points, but a bit of a tough day today with it, at least I think it was. Let's take a look. It's always nice to see what the truth of it is. 2 and 6, 3 and 5. All right, so 3 wins, 5 losses, a bit rough. Averaging 2,318 for today, which is pretty good, 5,226 WTR. The wins just weren't coming. Some tough teams and a couple really boneheaded moves on my part. I actually lost to an ELC because I managed to drive myself off of not a very tall cliff either. I thought I was going to stick the landing, but I left the ground and the front of the tank went straight into the ground and shredded off half my hit points. So those are the hit points I was going to need. Based on I also missed the ELC once, maybe twice, while I was chasing him, and then I got 1 crit no damage, and he was able to get behind a rock, reload, jump out, and kill me. So a comedy of errors. 100 battles, 61% win rate's pretty good though. I was averaging over 1,000 experience, so I did pretty well with this tank. 50% survival, so you're going to have a good win rate with a 50% survival. 74.24. So remember, this is the mechanic on this tank is a gun cooling system, water cooled, whatever, that makes it more accurate as you wait 10, 12, 15 seconds, whatever it is, varies with the tanks that have it. I think this mechanic starts at tier 8. It's not on the tier 7, I believe. And in theory, that should make the gun more accurate. Not really in theory, it does. Makes it more accurate when it cools off. The theory part, I guess, is how much does that really help? Talked about it a couple times with these tanks. I can't, it's hard to quantify that objectively. It's more of a subjective. Now, it is objectively a more accurate gun, but here's the question. How many times do you actually wait long enough? In the game, with the way that it's played in matches, probably a decent amount. You'll wait long enough that the cooling just happens. In a brawl where you're shooting every time you're reloaded, that's probably not happening, but over the course of time, you're probably shooting some more accurate shots than if you're just shooting immediately after a reload. That gives me a 74.24% hit rate. So that's kind of where my heavies are, especially decently accurate ones like this one. So I don't see it in the stats necessarily, although I do have a decent DPM, 2000, so I did actually overperform in my damage. But that's not amazing. Neither the DPM nor the hit rate speaks to me and says, wow, that gun cooling thing really is a difference maker. Sure, it's good, it's nice, you can have a more accurate gun. I don't know how much it actually does. It's doing something clearly, but is it represented significantly in my stats? I don't think so. Armor use is at 0.51, which is kind of situational armor. The turret's pretty good. It does have a hatch up there. The hull is a bit indifferent. It's got some decent angling, so you will get bounces, but it's not like it's a super heavy. At 0.51 tier 8 heavy, it's situational. Damage ratio is pretty good at 1.47. Destruction's way up there at 3 per time I die, which is pretty nice. I had one 4,196 damage game. In fact, that might be the one that I'm showing you. A 2,154 maximum experience, and my assistance was 417, so did okay with this tank. Not bad. Let's take a look at the tank itself and how it's doing in the game. Should have had this ready, but I didn't. Tank performance, let's go to tier 8. Heavy. Get rid of the premiums and see where it lives. Actually, that's the wrong way to do that. There we go. Tier 8 tech tree tanks. Where is the Type-57? Right there, third from the top. And I'd buy that. It's a pretty good tech tree tank. I like it. Solid. It's a good all-rounder. It doesn't have any exciting things like autoloaders, loader reloaders, or rockets. It's got the gun cooling thing, but otherwise it's pretty well a bog standard good all-rounder. It does hit pretty decently hard. If we look at the ammo, we're talking about 360, which is nice. 225 pen and 252 with the APCR. The one kind of Achilles heel, if this tank really has one, is the gold pen is pretty bad for a tier 8. You're going to struggle against a lot of 9s and 10s that have a lot of armor. It's just going to be painful. You're going to have to really work for weak spots. Maybe do some tracking stuff if you're bottom tier. You're going to have to think a little harder about it. You're just not going to dab 2 with a really high heat round and go through the faceplate of, say, an E100 or a Maus. You're going to have to work around it. 352 is pretty bad. Pretty bad. All right. And I think that's it, guys. We'll go ahead and take a look at some gameplay, but I am done. 100 battles down. Did pretty well. I like it. It's a pretty good tank. Let's check out some gameplay. All right, gameplay for the Type-57. Bottom tier, 2 tiers only. We're here on Murvanka, Pokfovka, Emmelsdorf. Murvanka. Magic Force. I'm going to avoid the Magic Force. I'm in a heavy. Let's go up here and help with the brawl. First thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the Kunza and maybe to some extent the AVR FS are getting aggressive. This map, this position can be tricky. Do I go up here and be very careful and play peekaboom? Do I follow up guys trying to take the dip where you can have quite an advantage, but you can also be very subject to a counterattack? Let's watch how this plays out. I really like this tank, to be honest. As I've noted, the pen is questionable on it. It's kind of painful. but overall it's a pretty good tank. All right, so I see the BZ. We're going to shoot him as we go. That worked out. We bounce one. Fantastic. 122 TM, Kunze Panzer, and I'm sort of regretting my decisions right now. Really, I hope this 122 does not come down in here. He takes a shot, and we're going to turtle up right here. All right, so I'm seeing the Basante come up behind, although I'm a little bit worried he's going to get kind of beat up. We have myself, the Kunze, and maybe he'll stay out of here, but you'll see this thing develop. It becomes quite the thrash. All right, the BZ shoots. Okay, we get a shot on it. Nice on the Basante for sneaking up right there. Watch how we kind of use these different dips and spaces to help ourselves out. The Basante has taken up a really nice spot, and the enemy team has not really got there yet to counter that. He did eat some shots to do it, but he's going to punish this BZ pretty good. He's waiting for his reload here. Notice the gonk. I didn't quite notice the gonk right there. I saw it this time, but I was so busy looking at the 64, 68, I missed it. So watch what happens here. Oh shoot, that's no good. 7-7. Oh geez, I'm really like, this is, the jig is up, fellas. We're done. This is the counterattack I was talking about, and I'm not really getting much help here. The Kunze has effed off, and I don't have a whole lot of help. So we're just going to try to survive, guys. We'll just come out. All right, one thing I do not want to do is let the gonk have another shot on me if I can at all avoid it. Already was... All right, got by him. Shoot him and kill him. Great, let's go to this next nook. The problem with the gonk and the rest of the Czech, or Polish, I mean TDs, is they are extremely slow hold traverse. So even though I'm not a very fast tank, I'm able to get away. Oh, geez, Artie's just absolutely having a stab at me. Boom, he just takes a big hit. That's very nice. The Basante's still alive. You got to love it, and he is making some damage. Artie takes a chunk out of him. Thank you, Artie. We're going to try to track him and shoot him. There we go. 122. No, no, no. All right, ST1, check it out. Now we have a counter attack. The 50 TPPR is coming in, and the ST1 has come up and over the top, and he's brawling with the TU, the 122 TM. Smashes him. Hey, guys, I'm going to tell you what. That is a heads-up play right there. Probably, you know, whether he thought he was going to help me by knocking this guy offline or he just wanted to ram, doesn't really matter. The ram can do damage because he's much heavier, and yes, it can knock their guns offline. I can't tell you how many times other players on the enemy team have saved their guy because they rammed me and knocked my gun offline. Think about it when you're in a brawl. I take a hit from the IS-3. We're just going to try to shoot him in the back. Like, okay, IS-3, don't do it. Nice. Somebody slaps him. I'm still stunned. I'm being absolutely crushed by the Artie. Like, whatever. He may hit me. I can survive. We got to kill this dude. Oh, unfortunate one. I didn't notice that in the game. One hit point I left him with. 2,456. We got 790 bounce. Let's get behind this and make his shot hard. Make it more difficult. Artie is still absolutely just trashing me. Nope. Okay, didn't work. Ah, Kunze got him. Nice. And check it out, fellas. Now we're in pretty good shape. You gotta like it. Oh, geez. Now there's a T-34. Okay. Watch out for that guy. Good. And I was taking a deep breath right here. I thought, all right, we're in pretty good shape, man. This is very nice. We're in good shape here. So let's go over here and we'll kind of look for a shot. Climb up here and prototypes get a little crazy. What's this guy doing? Remember, this gun gets more accurate if it waits X seconds, 12, whatever it is, after reload. So we'll go ahead. Oh, darn. Went for the hatch. Udez takes a hit. Kunze is behind. Oh, what's going on here? TS-54. We have a... Okay. Uh-oh. Prototype's dead. I don't really notice what's going on till here. Like, oh no. Now this... They're pushing again. Here they come. They're coming after the ST1. The ST1 just does an absolutely fantastic job. TS-54 should have ignored the ST1 and taken me out. Him and the prototype. Take me out, and then they can work around the ST1. Unfortunate. Kunze comes in to help. All right, that's a gun. I'll take it. Even if they shoot him, that's a shot that didn't go into one of us right there. Now, honestly, I really wanted to kill the TS-54, but I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get a good shot before the T-34 got a shot on me, so I'm just going to take some hit points off of him. And he did choose to shoot at the Kunze and missed, and that was fantastic.
Coons is making it a little more hard for him to shoot him by moving around. We'll go ahead and slap him for another 359. ST1 takes out the TS-54. This guy is hurting right now. Shut him down. We're up to 3,800. Prototype taken on. He's shooting HE at the ST1. You know they're frustrated when they shoot HE. We'll shoot him in the turret. That turret base is pretty weak. And just like that, we shut down, what, 2 counterattacks. Survived our attack. Shut down 2 counterattacks. Get rid of him. Bounce another one. So we got 1,180 bounced. And I think that's it. I don't get any more damage. You gotta love it, fellas. You gotta love it. 4 kills, 3,917, 1,180 bounced, 837 assists. Nice little game. I believe it's an ace tanker. We show the cards here at the end of this. But just wanted to show a little bit of gameplay with the Type-57. I liked it. The armor seemed to work pretty good. It does have, as we've mentioned, the issue with the hatches on the hold down thing. But it's got enough mobility to kind of do the little brawling mobility thing right there. It has good gun depression, which I was able to use right there. The armor layout is okay, not amazing, but pretty good. Just all around a really good, solid heavy tank. And that's really kind of interesting with the Japanese line because everyone's so used to it being the big derp monsters. This line came out in the last couple of years, so it's very much more a standard type of heavy line. I would say almost very American-esque with a good gun depression and accurate guns, all that good stuff. There you go. Let's finish this up. Well, there you go. Some gameplay in the Type-57. A good all-rounder. Don't know if the gun cooling thing does a bunch. As I said earlier, clearly, when it kicks off, it's a more accurate gun. So that's just overall going to be better. I didn't really see the difference. Not a major difference in my stats based on the gun being better. But I did have a good win rate with it and a good survival rate, so and a decent DPG. So maybe that added on to the rest of the tank being pretty good actually helped the win rate. You know, getting the shots you want when you need them, those are all important things. I will say that it does seem to do snapshots pretty nicely, like moving shots. I guess if I thought hard enough about it, maybe I would say, and again, this is very feelings kind of freaking thing, but it feels like the gun is quite accurate and you can do some things with it that, say, you wouldn't do with, say, a T-34 or something with a big derpy gun. That's about all I can say for the gun cooling. Not a bad tank. I would say for a tech tree tank, one of the better ones. That's all I've got, guys. You have a fantastic day. See ya.